And what makes you a man is the fact that you will sacrifice for that, because it is a worthy sacrifice. And at the end of the day, you can either stay in your low-grade headache of a life, or you can say, if I'm going to be here, everyone's going to be happy. And I'm going to do everything in my control to make them happy. Today, we're going to talk about the ultimate Father's Day. How do you have the ultimate Father's Day? There's a lot of different ways that a person could have a Father's Day, and I don't judge any of them. Some guys would say, you know what, I need a break. I'm going to go fishing. I'm going to go golfing. Whatever it might be. Okay, fine. Good for you. Others are like, I just want to gather the family around. It depends on how old you are. Maybe you've got young children. Maybe your children are all at the house. They're adults at this point. Maybe you have grandkids. I don't know. But the point would be, though, that for us to ultimately have a great Father's Day, it's not going to be about the things around us. It's not going to be about the gifts. And it is, to a large degree, about who is present with us. But it's like, how is everyone present? And the greatest Father's Day is a Father's Day filled with peace. And how do we have peace in our home? We have peace in our home because we have order in our home. Without order, we can't have peace. And without peace, we can't have prosperity or happiness. So that peace is a very essential thing to have. And the Father wants that. He just wants peace. Now, some dads go through it the wrong way. They're like, I want peace in my family, so therefore I'm just going to placate the kids and give them a new iPhone so that they can be distracted just so I have peace, But the best thing that we do to have peace is to form our children the right way and to love our wives. The Bible says that men are supposed to love their wives like Jesus loved the church, which means to be willing to die for them, ultimately be in complete sacrifice for them. So this is how you turn your best Father's Day on its head. Don't think so much about the way the day is spent, or what you get, and most guys don't think about that anyway, but think instead about what you're bringing your family to provide and protect to them in a way that you're celebrating the fact that you've been a good father. And all of us have made mistakes, and that's what makes it difficult, is we know that we are imperfect. And if we don't know that we're imperfect, we've got a big problem, okay? Because our families certainly know that we're imperfect. But there are a couple of different ways that we can do this, and I want to emphasize them. Now, you might be watching this saying, I have the most amazing marriage ever. My wife is the best partner, and, only through the grace of God, but that grace has flown in our family, and all things are well. Okay, that would be amazing, amazing. And then you also might be saying, Dave, you have no idea how bad my life is right now. I don't even know if I married the right person. My kids are a wreck. There's no respect in my home. For Father's Day, you nailed it, man. I'm going fishing. I don't want to be around these people. It's really bad. Okay, well, that might be the case too. Well, probably you're somewhere in that spectrum. So what is the call to a father to make this day special in that capacity? So let me just start with if things are going bad, and then we'll get into if things are going really well. If things are going badly, and to be fair, by the way, I want to be very fair about this, because I'm going to talk about how you control this, what your part is in this as the father, okay? What responsibility you need to take for where your family is right now. And I want to really pause and say that maybe 6% of the time, what I'm about to say doesn't matter no matter what. And I'm kind of tying that 6% of the time to the percentage of people that some people say have literally a clinical narcissistic personality disorder, because you can do all sorts of things you want in that particular setting. And if you are the narcissist, you're not even going to pay attention to this. You're going to turn off right away and say, I don't care about that. People need to serve me. So it won't work there. If you are married to a narcissist, you could do anything that you want, and it may not work, although God can do anything. God can make any change at all. I would still tell you that even if that's the case, you should do what I'm going to say anyway, because you want to be blameless. You want to engage without, by the way, first of all, one thing you don't want to do, because, I said that 6% might be narcissists, and then it's just difficult to deal with the circumstance no matter what. But probably 94% of guys who are married unhappily might make the accusation that they're married to a narcissist, even though that's only true 6% of the time. So let's be careful about throwing out any sort of accusation. But I want to be careful, because I work with a lot of men in men's ministries, and then there are some times where no matter what you're doing to try to help the particular person, they're up against something that is not really, it might be preternatural at that point right now. But most guys, they're going to be within range. And this is where we're going to focus our time, because this is the thing that matters. Throughout history, and even In our Christian faith, Mary, the Blessed Mother, is represented as the moon, and Jesus, of course, the sun. That she has no brightness independent of Jesus, that he provides all that brightness, but she's a reflection of that. And that's an amazing thing. Well, even throughout just cultural and historical, society, people have referred to women as kind of a moon and the man as a sun. And the reason the analogy works so well is because we get basically what we give. And this is the hard part for a guy to actually face or understand. But on the day that you wake up and you give your wife all sorts of love and affection, you know what you're going to get that day? Love and affection. Now, obviously, if you've had a tough road to go for a period of time, you're not going to have like this one moment. She's probably going to deal with that moment as suspicion. Like, why are you acting this way? What's going on? So you're probably not going to get the reaction you want right away. But depending on how deep that is, and if you just have like kind of an average right in the middle type of marriage, this will probably work immediately. And you don't do it as a manipulation. You do it because it's the thing that you actually want to deliver to the person. But you deliver love in that morning, and you look at what you see, you get love back. You deliver anger, you're going to get anger back. Probably, I've noticed, at a dose a little bit higher than what we give. We give 100% love, we get 120% back, if that were mathematically possible. We like wake up with the desire to just give love, and so we're trying to. But that irritating thing that she says or she does, that you're like, hey, you know what? I'm just giving love today. I can handle it. I can deal with it. And so she says it, and you deal with it. She says it twice, and you deal with it. She says it a third time, and then you like almost deal with it. You just deliver a response that has 3% of sarcasm in it. All it takes for that 3% sarcasm to land is her noticing it. And believe me, she notices it. She's not going to deliver back 3% sarcasm for the rest of the day. She's going to deliver back like 300% sarcasm for the rest of the day. And so that reflection, that mirror, is going to be like amplified through that. But you deal in understanding, forgiveness, patience. Guess what you're going to get? Understanding, forgiveness, and patience. She will mirror what it is that you are providing into the family. And so if you don't understand that it is your job to lead the family out of the misery that might be there because you come home agitated or selfish or without love or without giving or without sharing, okay? Start doing it. And it may take, for some of you, because it's been so long, 2 weeks before the suspicion goes away. Others, 2 months. Some of you, it's so deep and bad that it will take 2 years for you to repair this. But you, as the man, need to stay committed to bringing peace into your family. And you can do it on a daily basis. I mean, you can do it with things that are more superficial but matter, because even though they would be superficial on the surface, they mean something from the heart. Like when she wakes up, there's a rose by her bed, or you bring a dozen roses home that day. And of course, you can't do that every day, but you can do it sometimes. And it might shock her. Like, where did this come from? You can do simple things like come home early and say, I just came home early to see if I could help you with anything. Help me with anything? What? Okay. You can do it by the way you interact with the children. That as a provider, maybe you just increase a little bit of the generosity that you would be providing in giving your kids things. And by the way, this is a bad strategy in the long term, okay? But for the short term, to show these moments of that, as opposed to using that as like a perpetual strategy to try to keep them in line by giving gifts, that doesn't work. But the occasional things, so that they know that they are favored amongst you compared to other people because they are your children, okay? And your wife will love that. She will see that. It is to discipline the children when she does. When she wants to discipline the children, that you get behind them and say, listen to your mother, okay? That's a tone that works out well. Now, maybe the problem is that she's undermining you. You're trying to discipline the kids and she doesn't. Now you're in for another challenge. And that challenge is that you're right, principally. She should get behind you when you discipline the kids. And if she doesn't, because maybe she doesn't like your strategy or your approach, or she's just so bothered by it because you haven't shown her love in whatever period of time, you need to basically back away from that. Because even if you're right about disciplining the kids, you're just going to create a fight within your family. And even if the kids follow suit and they're obedient to your discipline, without the love in the home, there's so much confusion with that child that the very thing that you're trying to produce, which is virtue through the discipline, is washed away anyway, because of the turmoil that's taking place in the home. So if you have that sort of turmoil, you just need to give that up to God, and you just love your wife, and just love your wife, and just love your wife. And when you see something that the children are doing that you need to discipline, and you want to go after that right away because you're right, by the way, and she doesn't want to support that, forego it for the moment while the healing is taking place so that you can heal things with your wife. And then what happens is once you heal things with your wife and you discipline your child, she's going to say, "Did you hear your father?" And she's going to be on it. But no matter what happens during this period of time, when she's disciplining, you support that discipline. Now, that's a little backwards. Normally, I would say to a person in a healthy relationship, hey, if you are watching your child misbehave and you don't discipline them and follow up on that discipline, that is on you. And it's on you between you and God, not just what it's going to do to the child. But there are circumstances where that's not going to be effective. And what rules the day? Prudential judgment rules the day, the virtue of prudence. And that prudential judgment says that you're kind of in something for the longer term in order to get something done in a bigger way. So you love your wife. Then you do things like do the dishes, empty the dishwasher. And don't do like most guys, empty the dishwasher and then have a parade for yourself. Hey, I emptied the dishwasher. Aren't I amazing? No, just do it and don't say anything. Go throughout the day doing acts of kindness for your wife that she would never notice. And then engage with your children, not just for discipline. And that's what happens with a lot of guys is that they're only there for the discipline. They're not there to just play catch or go for a walk or have a moment with them, right? With your little girls, have the tea party, whatever it is that you might do to show that they are worth you spending time with and they are exceptional in that capacity. Make sure that they don't believe that your friends and your coworkers are the exceptional people in your life that are worthy of your time. But that they see that they themselves are in first place for that. Now, we know we have this practical side of things, and we spend most of the hours of the day at work, and the kids go to school and whatnot too. So this is not about taking 24 hours in a day and dividing it, and whoever gets the most that day is the most important. We know that that's not the case, but we do know that the way that you prioritize them and you move things around for them, and you make sure that they are not pushed aside, and that each day that you give them their opportunity to be with you. So if your life is going great, you know that it's going great because of God's grace, because no man is capable of this on his own. In fact, we are really fully and only responsible for one thing, and that is our sin. And anything the good we do because of the grace of God. And if you don't believe that, by the way, to be true, let me ask you this question. How are you alive in the first place? You didn't create yourself, and even scientists who have a scientism about them that claim to be atheists won't talk about their mind. They'll talk about their brain, because talking about their brain makes it like a untrustable, feeble computer that muddles through the day, which is just nonsensical in the first place. But that's what they default to, as opposed to a mind, which isn't well understood. Just like when you talk about life, they don't really know what makes life happen and what takes the spark away. Even when they talk in, the material world, they know that there's something that's outside of the material world that has command over that. And we know it to be true too. So to the degree that you have aligned your will with God's will is to the degree that you have actually happiness in your family, and you're going to celebrate Father's Day in a really, really great capacity. If that's the case, I'm going to congratulate you. I'm just going to tell you, praise be God. Make sure you praise God. Keep doing it and do it even better. But for the rest of us who aren't perfect like that and are always working through things, I would say the reason you can celebrate Father's Day, even if you're in the gravest, deepest depths of misery right now, is to celebrate it at the first day of many upcoming days of joy. And when you try to sacrifice for your family, if it's not received right away because the depths of the wounds are so deep that you're not going to get a quicker reaction, a quicker mirror image, or moon versus sun image to what you're providing, it takes longer. You might want to say, well, Dave, you were wrong about that. I gave love and I got anger back. Well, yeah, probably because it's deep set in there. But over a period of time, this will start to happen. And what makes you a man is the fact that you will sacrifice for that, because it is a worthy sacrifice. And at the end of the day, you can either stay in your low-grade headache of a life which is miserable for perpetuity. Some people choose that. Or you can say, if I'm going to be here, everyone's going to be happy. And I'm going to do everything in my control to make them happy. And I'm not going to say, like the classic saying, the beatings will continue until morale goes up. I'm actually going to bring love and joy into the house in a way that I haven't done it before. And you can start to celebrate that outcome even now. And here's the kicker. If you do receive behaviors that are not the same in kind, you give love and you get anger, You give generosity and you get selfishness. You give trust and you get mistrust back. This is the hardest part about this, but praise be Jesus Christ in that moment, because you're suffering for your family and for your own sanctity and for theirs. And when we really understand the idea that we need to unite our sufferings with Christ, and that this is one of the things that we do in order to become holy through God's grace, then we miss that opportunity to say, I am willfully going to go into the suffering that is required as a father in order to get my family to heaven. And it doesn't really matter what I need or want mentally or emotionally. I'm going to dive into this sacrificially. That's the way that no matter what, you can have a great Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, all.